What is up, you guys, and welcome back to another replay video where I'm going to be going over my mistakes and my opponent's mistakes and how we can both improve our gameplay. If you want me to cover one of your games, just send your replay my way. I would be happy to do that. DuelVoyager.com is a fantastic website because you can test out your decks in a manual format, which is much closer to actual play in real life. And you can watch your replays back either just for fun or so you can go over your games to see what you could improve on. Today I am playing Vivi and I am up against the yellow Calgara, which got some really great support in OP15. Now I just passed my first turn and my opponent plays their stage card and adds a copy of the 3-cost Calgara, which is just such a fantastic card for them. The fact that they have a low-cost Calgara now is really important because not only does it search for their Nolans, it also is the Calgara that you need on field to be able to just gain that free life card. Now, they just pass it back to me after that, and so I attack them right away. And they choose to take the life card before I play down the 3-cost Sanji. I decided not to rush with it because this way I just get more attacks overall. They play down their 4-cost Zoro and just discard a card to gain a life card. And then they attack me, and I choose to take that as well. They pass it over to me, and I draw another Sanji. I'm really hoping to find the 7-cost Vivi, but I'm just not that lucky. So I just attack with my leader, and they take it again, which makes sense. They just have so many life cards. Then I attack with my 3-cost Sanji, and they take it as well. And it is a trigger. It is El Thor. So they were just able to KO my Sanji right there. I do draw a card for Sanji's effect, and then I play down my 5-cost Vivi, which is able to play down my 5-cost Nami as well, drawing me 3 cards, but I'm still not able to find the 7-cost Vivi. So I put back a duplicate Shaka as well as a 3-cost Sanji just because I don't plan on playing it again anytime soon, and then I just pass it over to my opponent. They throw down a Nami, which is just so annoying. I really hate this card, forcing me to take a life card, and it feels really bad attacking over it too. So they attack for 6, and they play down their 3-cost Calgara off of their leader's effect, and they're able to grab 2 more cards into their hand, and then they take the life with their Calgara's effect. Should have done that first, but it doesn't really matter that much. And it's another Borsalino, so now they have 2 Borsalinos in their hand. The fact that Nami and Borsalino are both completely generic is not only pretty unfair, but it's mostly just annoying because every single deck just plays 4 copies of each, so it feels like you just see a lot less variety in yellow decks now. I use my 2k to counter out, and then they attack for 6 again, and I use another 2k to counter out, and then they pass it over to me. Seeing a 7-cost Vivi here would have just made my day, but unfortunately I don't see it, so I just throw down the 5-cost Nami and use her effect to draw me an extra card, and I do see the 1-cost Vivi here, so I throw it down, and finally I'm able to search for the 7-cost Vivi. Feels pretty good. I'll be able to play it down on my next turn. Then I use my Nami's effect, and then I use my leader's effect to basically lower his Zoro down by 3,000 power, and then I attack 7 into 3, and there's just no way he's going to counter out, so he lets it go. I pass it over to my opponent, and they throw down that Borsalino right away, getting them an extra life card, and then they put a Dawn onto their leader, and attack, and play down their Wiper, and take that life card right away. Their Wiper pops my 1-cost Vivi as well with its on-play effect, and then I use a 2k counter to counter out of his leader's attack. And then here he throws a Dawn onto his 3-cost Calgara and just attacks with it right away. And I think that could have been done a little bit better because he has his 5-cost Wiper that would have been able to give a Rested Dawn card to one of his Sky Island type leader or character cards. So he could have attacked for 7 here, or just attach the active Dawn to Nami and attack for 7 with her. But in any case, I give him another 2k, and then Nami attacks, and I block. And here, for some reason, I completely forgot about my leader's effect. It was a big misplay on my part. I should have just rested my blocker and used my leader's effect to protect it by trashing a card out of my hand, because I really don't need this 5-cost Nami in my hand, and maybe not even the 10-cost Shanks, because he's not putting down really big characters, and often I'm able to just handle them by attacking over them. So no matter what, keeping the blocker on the field would have been a much better play. I do draw another 5-cost Vivi for turn, but I do think I have enough defense that I want to just go for a bit of a more aggressive play by getting some more field presence. So I play down the 7-cost Vivi as well as the 8-cost Shaka, and I make him bottom deck a card out of his hand. But he did take a whole minute to do this, so I actually forgot to use my Shaka's effect to draw 2 cards. As crazy as it sounds, it should be natural, just snap instinct to draw 2 cards when you play it down. But I don't know this deck as well as I should, and that misplay is completely on me, and playing on a manual sim like this is actually a great way to strengthen your plays, forcing you to know what your cards do to make the most of every single one of your actions. If I were on the other sim, it would have prompted me both times if I wanted to use the effects, and it would have been natural, it would have happened, maybe I'd be in a better state than I am now. But if I were at my locals, I would have forgot the effects just like I did. So this is why testing on a manual simulator like DuelVoyager is so important. And the game just goes on. My opponent, of course, is not going to remind me to draw 2 cards. So I just use my leader's effect and give my Shaka rush and attack 9 over 5, and I get over it. And then I use my Nami to lower his Borsalino as well, just to make it less convenient if he wanted to block. And then I attack 8 over 4 because I used my leader's effect to lower his Nami. And I was surprised to see him block with his Borsalino, because I really thought letting the Nami get KO'd here was better, because he can just play another Borsalino out of his hand. I didn't know he had this one, but that would have been a much better play. He would still have 1 blocker, he could play anything from his hand, and potentially have 2 blockers, plus gain that extra life card. So I think that was his main misplay this game, and if he had let that Nami get KO'd, then he would be in a much better position than he is now. In any case, he plays down his 4-cost Zoro and just gets another life card, pretty crazy. And then he puts a Dawn onto his leader and attacks my leader, and he plays down another Calgara. This is the 5-cost one though, which is still really good because it basically just lets you draw an extra card each turn. So he adds his top life card with his leader, and then he draws the extra card with that new Calgara. I decide to just take this life card. I'm hoping for a 2k because I think he's going to attack for 6 again. And then my opponent plays down that Noland, getting another life card, and then attacking with his Wiper. So I just block, and this time I do remember my leader's effect, so I discard the Shanks to keep her alive. And then he attacks for 6 again, so I just give him my event. I was thinking I might as well just keep my life card, but on my next turn I realized that I'm not going to be able to survive another turn anyway, so it might have made more sense just to take the extra life card too. But in any case, he tries to attack with the Zoro, even though he just played it this turn, and then he just sets it back as active, and then he passes it over to me. And I know for a fact that he's going to have 4 attacks next turn. I only have 1 blocker and 1 life card, so I got to make the magic happen somehow. I put a Dawn onto my 7-cost Vivi and attack 5 into life, and he takes that one, which I'm happy about, but it's a trigger which lets him draw 2 and then trash 1. Then I put 2 Dawn onto my Shotgun Pel and attack 11 at life, and with double attack, I am just trying to get him down to 0 life so I have as many chances as possible to go for game. He does end up taking both life cards, and even if he did counter out, I felt like I was still in a good position to land some attacks through, because I still had 3 attacks after that, and he would have had basically no counters in his hand if he countered out of my Shaka's attack. Then I attack 7 into life, and he uses his event. So that was a pretty free counter, and he's also able to play down his stage card as well, so he's able to search for another 2k counter. I was looking at his hand just now, and I was wondering why he discarded the Nami instead of one of his Luffy's or even the stage card, but I guess he wanted to go for another searcher, and I don't think he was expecting the game to end so quickly. Since I got nothing left to lose, I put a Dawn onto my blocker Nami, and I attack 7 at life one more time, making him discard 2 cards, before I throw 6 Dawn onto my leader and attack 11 at life. Here he gives me a 2k to go up to 7, a 1k to go up to 8, a 2k to go up to 10, and only 1 more k counter, and he's also at 11, but 11 beats 11, so I win the game. He definitely should have discarded one of his Luffy's here instead of discarding his Nami, because he actually would have had enough counter to survive if he did that. In times like these, you don't need to get greedy and have plays for 2 turns down the road. Just having that 1 Luffy for the follow-up on his next turn would have been enough, so he definitely should have discarded 1, because he still would have had tons of cards in his hand anyway. So that was a really close game. Comment below if you think I deserved that win. Playing in the new OP15 format is so fun, there's so many new cards to test, and DuelVoyager is definitely the best website to do that. I'm basically always online, and if you want to check it out, I left a link to it in the description. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, it really helps me out. And if you want to play against me or participate in online tournaments, go ahead and join my Discord, the link is in the description. I host one every week, they're completely free to join, and we'd just love to see you there. And if you have a great duel, feel free to send the replay my way, I'd love to cover it on my channel. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.